Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Nothing to do to save his life cause his wife. And hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Beetle Dave's YouTube channel. Today we are going to be celebrating the 55th anniversary of the release of probably the most famous album the Beatles ever made, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. So I've got dressed for the occasion, even put my little light round John Lennon glasses on as well. It turned 50th on the the 55th anniversary was actually on the 26th. So I know this is a couple of days after the actual fact that I had other things to be doing. But yeah, Sergeant Pepper's turned 55. So it was released on the 26th of May, 1967. That obviously it makes it 55 years old now. And it was recorded between the 6th of December 1966 and the 21st of April 1967. And it was recorded at EMI stroke Abbey Road Studios, as it's known now, plus Regent Sound Studios in London. Now, when it was released, it spent a total of 27 weeks at #1 in the UK album charts, and it spent a total of 15 weeks at #1 in the USA charts. Now, I've got about 20 copies of Abbey Road, all slightly different. I've gone through them, and today we are going to be looking at 10, but they are all like slightly different versions. So it's early in the morning, so grab yourself a cup of tea, or if you're watching it and it's a bit later, grab yourself a can of lager or a can of beer or a whiskey or something. Happy birthday, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. So I've got about 20 versions. So like I said, we are going to be looking at around 10 of the versions. I've still got some there, and then I've got some down here that we are going to be looking at. There are mainly UK issues, but there is, I think it's a French one, a South African one, and a American one as well. So sit back and enjoy yourselves. A splendid time is guaranteed for all. So as I say, it's, Sergeant Pepper has reached the grand old age of 55 this week. Now in the UK, get this one out. This is the first one we're going to be looking at. I should organise this a bit better, shouldn't I? So, I don't suppose this really needs any introduction. Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band from 1967. This is a mono copy, so it's PMC 7027, and it is in a patent pending sleeve. And I think at the time when this album was originally released in the UK, I think it was one of the first albums to actually have the words to all of the songs on the back. In the UK, it came with a cutout sheet. Somebody's took that one out, look. The moustache, they've cut that out, but that is an original one. Why they only cut the moustache out, I don't know. And you also got it in a psychedelic inner sleeve, which was designed by the Fool. I think I should have got a bigger size in this, actually. It's all right when you're standing up. So that's the record. And in the UK, it was released on the yellow and black Parlophone label. Like I say, this is the UK mono version. So on side one, we get Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, With a Little Help from My Friends, Loose in the Sky with Diamonds, Getting Better, Fixing a Hole, She's Leaving Home, and then it finishes off on side one with Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kite, and all them songs were written by John Lennon and Paul McCartney. Side two starts off with Within You, Without You, When I'm 64, Lovely Rita, Good Morning, Good Morning, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band Replies, and A Day in the Life. Just bear with me 1 minute. The dog's coming now, barking. So that is side 2. Now, early copies, it didn't actually list a day in the life. If you get one of them, they are worth a hell of a lot of money nowadays. It's still on the record, it's just not listed on the label, because I think when they made the labels and they saw Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band reprised, they just thought, well, that's the end of the album. A really, really influential album when it came out. It still is today. You know, if a band has a really, really fabulous album, they'll say, well, that's our Sgt. Pepper, isn't it? That's how the mono one originally came in the UK. Like I say, you did get it with the full sleeve, which is this, and the cutout. They range anywhere from sort of like £10 upwards. That one's in pretty decent copy, and it has got everything with it. And like I say, it is in the patterns pending sleeve. That's probably worth around the £35–40 mark. Next up, we have, this is the original stereo version. So this is PCS 7027. Exactly the same, or very, very similar. Spine is not quite so good on this one. Obviously, it did come in a gatefold sleeve. The other one to look out for is what they call a 4th proof sleeve, where it says 4th proof above George's shoulder. Again, all the words and everything on the back. For some reason, this one hasn't got the cutouts, and it hasn't got the full sleeve either. It's just got the EMI rice paper sleeve. Like I say, this one is the original stereo, so you get sold in the UK text and the Gramophone Co Limited. PCS 7027. Again, lovely labels. I love these old Parlophone labels. And that is side 2. Now, to me, this is purely just my own sort of like preference. I always think the mono one sounds better than that. But in a lot of cases, the stereo one is the harder one to get. Again, in really nice condition. That I paid £12 for that many, many, many years ago off a car boot. That's roughly worth about £35–55, I'd say, in that condition, even without the full sleeve and the cutouts. Now we've got a slightly later pressing from 1978. This one is, so it's slightly out of order. Again, Parlophone. I seem to think this, although it's got a British number and stuff on it, I think these are actually German or Dutch, and it's actually a picture sleeve, picture disc. So it comes out there like that. So that is, I think it's the same on both sides, to be honest. That's side 1, and then that is side 2. I've also got a picture disc up there, which is the clock. I don't know if you can see it. That Beatles clock up there, which is also a picture disc, although the sound quality on that is absolutely horrible. And that is opposite way around. You get side 1 will be that, and then side 2 is like the track listing, all that bit there. Sound quality on that isn't exactly brilliant, but it's not the worst sounding record I've ever heard for saying it's a picture disc. But at the end of the day, you don't really buy picture discs to, or so I've been told, you don't buy a picture disc to play, you just buy it to have it and to display, basically. Which, when I was a kid, if you had a picture disc, you played it. Simple. This is a later copy from around 1969. I think this is the EMI, one-boxed EMI Parlophone logo. Do you still get the cutouts with this? And they are all intact. still get the same gatefold picture, although it's not a flip back. So this is like a later one. In fact, this might even be a later cover, looking at it. Sorry, this is the 2-boxed. I've got a bit mixed up, so this is from 1973 onwards. Lightweight record. 2-box EMI, Parlophone EMI. Yeah, I should have actually known that this was the, yes, that one's come out. It's slightly out of order. So that is roughly from 1973, 74 time. Again, decentish copy. So you'd probably be paying, don't know, 15, 20 quid for that probably. So this might be the one. Have a look. I'll have a look first so I don't make a fool of myself again. Yeah, this is the 1-box EMI from around 1969, early 1970. So you get the gramophone code text in the label, but you only get the 1-box EMI. Again, this one is stereo. You can actually get this on mono, a 1-box mono, which is very, very hard to get. The mixers and everything are exactly the same on it, by the way. So you don't get, it is the same mix as the 1968 stereo original version. Yeah, that's in a patent pending sleeve as well. So I don't know. And that is, they've still got the flip back sleeve on this, see? Right there and there. Nice sounding album though. Again, the one to look out for on that is the EMI 1-box mono version. They are actually quite rare, and you'll be looking a lot of money for anything in decent shape. By a lot of money, I mean £100, maybe more, because they didn't release many of them. Because by 1969, early 1970, stereo was the way to go. So anything that came out in mono wasn't many copies. This is one from the 70s. I think this is French. I could be wrong, but I think it's French. Lovely album. And a wide spine. That's the difference in the spine. That's wide spine. Different catalogue number. So this is 2C066/04177. Slightly red border there as well. Where on the UK ones it isn't, is it? And you get or that just say PM. So I think the original catalogue number for this would have been PM 261. It just says published 1967. Manufactured by Pathé Marconi EMI. Yes, Pathé Marconi is French, isn't it? And you get the Odeon label at the back. Don't think you get anything with this. Yeah, you don't get no cutouts or anything. It's still a gatefold. Obviously, a later version. And the nice thing about this one is, well, I think it's nice, is it's actually on Apple. Like I said, I think it's French, but I know that there is a German version of this, which is very, very similar. Like I say, I was looking at some of these records just before I came to do this. That one is actually quite hard to get on eBay. You're talking about probably £80 for that. Sound quality is very nice. I seem to remember years ago I did have a Japanese version of this as well. The sound quality on that was superb. And a few more to go now. This is a American version, I think. MAS 2653. That's very, very similar to the UK version. Slightly duller sleeve, again in the widest spine, and you get the same photo in the gatefold. I think this is American. You do actually get the cutout of this as well. No, this is Canadian. This is one I got the other week into. It's actually Canadian coffee. Capital of Canada, isn't it? From 1978, I think. Lovely labels. I've played this as well, and it is actually a really, really nice sounding record. I'm probably on par with the later UK reissues from this, from like 1970s and early 80s. Probably not as good as the original, but like I've said to you already on this video, I think the best way to listen to Sergeant Pepper, or the best way that we used to listen to Sergeant Pepper when we was growing up, like the early 70s, was in your bedroom, put your headphones on. Remember them? Made you look like a Cyberman. They used to have the lead that you had to plug into your record player. None of this Bluetooth technology in them days. Sit on a chair or lie on the floor or lie on your bed, however close your hi-fi was. Put your headphones on and listen to the mono version, and you will hear things in the headphones on the mono version that aren't on the stereo. Completely different remix apparently for the stereo to the mono. Spent about 3 weeks on the mono stereo, on the mono remix, and about a couple of days on the stereo remix. So that tells you what was important in 1967 was still mono. This is a South African copy. We have featured this before in a video. So it's PCSJ 7027, and this is a non-gatefold sleeve, so it's just a standard sleeve. Again, this is pretty rare. You do get the words on the back, and as far as I remember, this track listing is the same. Yeah, because there's one copy in there from somewhere around the world where they took Loose in the Sky with Diamonds and a couple of other songs on and put the Walrus and stuff on it, didn't they? So again, it is on Parlophone, and this is actually in quite nice condition. You try and find one of these on eBay. Yes. And in this case, the stereo one of the South African one is actually worth slightly more than the mono one, believe it or not. I looked the other day, and these, the South African ones, are going from anywhere from 55 to £125. The original one like that, not the later version, the original one like that. So I'd say roughly that's worth about 85. Only 2 more to go, folks. I hope you're still awake. Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. We hope you will enjoy the show. Now this is a bootleg. It's made to look like it's an American version. Special collector's edition. So you get Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band with a little out for my fans, Loose in the Sky with Diamonds, Getting Better, Fixing a Hole, She's Living Home, Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kite, Within You Without You, When I'm 64, Lovely Vita, Good Morning, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band Reprise, and A Day in the Life. And that is the back. Now, it is a gatefold. So they've gone to some really, really, trouble to do this. So tracks 1, 2, and 3. So that's Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band with a Little Out for My Friends and Loose in the Sky Diamonds are alternative versions. Track 6, She's Leaving Home, is alternative. When I'm 64 is an alternative version. And then tracks 12 and 13, which are Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band Reprise and A Day in the Life, are alternative versions. Like I said, I don't think it's a proper legitimate release. It's on put. See, they made it to look like Parlophone, but it didn't actually say Parlophone if you look carefully. And this is actually on green vinyl. Sound quality is okay on it for a bootleg, an official release. So it doesn't say Parlophone, does it? But you have to look carefully, don't you? Nice to have though, and it goes with my coat, doesn't it? You know, as I've said before, I've got that many Beatles records now that I just look for something that is slightly different. I don't think I paid that much for that, and I don't think I've actually had it that long. I think I paid something like £25 for that. Probably 2 or 3 years ago, don't get me wrong, but I know at the minute you can still get these occasionally on eBay and Discogs, and they usually go for around the £50 mark. Completist like me, yes, it is nice to have. If you're just a casual fan, you probably, do you really need it? Probably not, because you probably only listen to it once or twice. I do listen to that quite often. What I usually do is I'll put like a equivalent sort of like version of stereo, late 70s, early 80s stereo version of this on first, and then listen to the second and think, oh yeah, it does sound different. Last but not least, we've got the recent 180 gram reissue of Sergeant Pepper. And to be honest, I don't know if I've ever played this. Have I played it? Yes, I have played it, but it's still sealed. So I'm not sure. Do you get the cutouts with it? I'm not sure if you get the cutouts with it or not. Yes, you do. But I haven't opened the gatefold. So you do get a copy of the original inner sleeve. And, you know, this is a lot of people will slag these reissues off. And to be honest, I was never a fan of these to start off with, because they're not, it looks lovely, doesn't it? You know, they've gone to a great lot of detail to make that look as authentic as they can to the original UK pressings of the 1960s. Got no problem with that. It's nice heavyweight vinyl. Now the only problem is I was listening to the people when this set first came out. This is why I haven't got that many of them, because when they came out and it was like 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 pounds, you know, fairly cheap, fairly, people saying, Dave, you don't want that. If you know, they're not proper analog recordings. They're like, basically they've been taken from the CDs. So they're like records made from the CD masters, not the original analog recordings. But when I listen to that, and the other ones I've got, because I've got that, I've got Rubber Soul. No, I haven't got that. I've got Magical Mystery Tour. I think I've got Rubber Soul, and I've got Help and Please Please Me. Of these recent reissues, well, I say that, I mean, they're 10 years ago now, aren't they? These didn't come out in 2012, didn't they, I think? To me, that does still sound very, very nice. Is it on par with the other sort of Beatles record? I don't know. You know something? I really don't know. So all these purists who say, well, you know, that's a digital recording, it's not analog, right? Which maybe it is. It could be a digital recording, right? But it depends what your equipment's like as well. I mean, I'm lucky. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got about 8, 9 turntables. Don't use them all at once. Don't get me wrong. If I play that on my Project one, it sounds amazing. it sounds just as good as any other pressing of Sergeant Pepper. Some ways better because it is clearer and cleaner. If I listen to it on not so good a record player, then yeah, I can tell it doesn't sound the same, if that makes sense. But on my expensive equipment, it sounds just as good and clearer than some of the other reissues that have come out since the 70s pull out. So I hope you've enjoyed this little video on Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band to celebrate its 55th birthday. As always, thank you to everybody that is liking my videos and leaving comments and subscribing. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed, if you've just come across this video, if you've liked what you've seen, then when you've watched the video, when it comes down, just do me a favor, hit the like button. And if you hit the subscription button and the notifications button, that's all I ask. It is free. And if you hit the notifications button, then you will get notifications when I'm doing new videos. I did actually mean to do this one yesterday, but like I say, I was tired, and then because we had this sad news about Alan White, the early drum with the Plastic Ono band passing away, I thought, now this is a celebration. Yesterday probably wouldn't have been right to do happy sort of video. So Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, is it the best album that the Beatles ever made? In some ways yes, in some ways no. To be honest, I do I do like the album. Excuse me, happy birthday, by the way. Yeah, I do like the album. I think it was very influential when it was released. And like I say, now if a band has a really, really successful album, they'll go, well, that is our Sergeant Pepper. So yeah, I can understand that. Song for song, though, I do think some of the other albums probably were better that's just in my humble opinion. I can't say it's rubbish because it's not rubbish. It's Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. It's probably the most famous album cover, or one of the most famous album covers ever made. There's some brilliant songs on it. If I was to criticise it, I think the only thing that sort of lets this down a little bit is Within You Without You by George Harrison, which opens side 2. Bearing in mind, he did actually record only Northern Song, didn't he? Which was supposed to go on this, which probably would have made a better track. And obviously, two of the best tracks that were meant to be on this album never was on it, was there? Because Strawberry Fields Forever and Penny Lane were meant to be recorded for this album, but they were rushed released, weren't they, for a single, because Capitol and EMI wanted a single from the Beatles. And I know it's daft to believe, but in them days, it was very rare that you had a single that was on an album as well. I think it would have actually been a better album with Strawberry Fields and Sergeant Pepper on it, Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane on it. But it is what it is. It is a very, very influential album even today. I've got dressed up specially to mark its 55th birthday, or 55th anniversary of its release. I think it was the album that showed the biggest change in the Beatles. It had already started a little bit with Rubber Soul and a little bit more with Revolver, but on this is a completely different band in one way to the mop tops of She Loves You and I Want to Hold Your Hand and A Hard Day's Night and things like that. It's hard to, it's actually hard to think this is actually the same band in a lot of ways. They're saying like in, what was it, 4 years from 1963 to 1960, well, 3 years really, because they started recording in 66, how much musically they've changed, let alone how different they looked, you should probably see it better on this one. You've got them there as they were 1967, and then they're sort of like 1964, 65, the Waxworks. Yeah, it's a brilliant album. I do love it. I honestly do love it. It's probably not my favourite Beatles album, in all honesty. It's in my top 3 or top 4, top 5. On some days, I think it is the greatest album never made. But personally, I do think like Abbey Road probably just does it for me a little bit better. But again, that is just my personal opinion. So please don't start slagging me off saying, "How can you not like?" I'm not saying I don't like it. I do love Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, and I will say it properly because I got told off a few months ago for just calling it Sergeant Pepper. It's not Sergeant Pepper. It's Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you haven't got it, please just go out and get any version that you can afford. Basically, you know, on eBay you can pick up like battered up copies. And what I say battered up, you know, well played copies, shall we say, from like £5 upwards. But even them, the reissue ones now, you know, you're probably talking £35–40 for one of them. You know, it's collecting records is getting quite expensive at the minute. But then again, I've been collecting for over 40 years now, so it's by the by. So I hope you've enjoyed it. That's me starting to go off on a little bit there, which I didn't really want to. So I hope you like my coat, and I've made the effort to look a bit like John Lennon with me round John Lennon glasses, just to celebrate the 55th anniversary of the release of Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, probably the greatest album ever released and recorded in the world, and by the best band in the world ever. Full stop. There'll never ever be anything else like the Beatles. They can't be, can they? But that's it. So once again, thank you to everybody that's subscribing, leaving comments and liking my videos. Just remember, peace, love and happiness to you all. Whatever you're doing this weekend, please stay safe, and until the next video, it's Beatle Dave in his Sergeant Pepper uniform saying, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, we hope you have enjoyed the show. Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, sorry but it's time to go. Until the next time, stay safe everybody, love to you all. Thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe.